The reason why it's important to always be grateful, to always check yourself when you're being negative, and have practices, daily practices that you can go into to make sure that you're always grateful for the opportunities that are, in your life, and grateful for the situation that you're in. Because this is where a lot of people fuck their whole life up. They don't realize the opportunities that are right in front of them. And because of that, they always think the world's out to get them. And it becomes this endless cycle of just losing and failing. I can understand what it's like because I'm 28 now. I'll be 29 this year. And let me just say this. As a man, when you're in your young, your teenage years or early 20s, that's about as hard as life is going to get for you. And a lot of people don't realize that because, when you're a teenager, a preteen boy, maybe there are some people helping you out, giving you handouts, kind of just teaching you, how to go along the way, whatever. But when you get to about age 18, especially in your early 20s, you're definitely not getting those same handouts. You're definitely not getting those same pats on the back. People give way less of a fuck about you, especially now since you're like an adult and you really need to go improve yourself in the world. But the whole point I'm trying to make of this video is understanding that as a young man, you have to understand that there are opportunities pretty much right in front of you at all times. And a lot of guys miss out on this because I understand, like I said, I understand what it's like to be 19 and to kind of, or 20 or 22, or even guys in their late 30s, even in their late 30s, you can be experiencing this shit where you still have a negative outlook on life and you don't understand that you almost need to find the opportunities on a day-to-day basis. So look, just like everybody else's life, we all experience things that just happen out of nowhere, right? For example, someone dies, or you lose a pet, or you get fired from your job, or you go through a breakup, or there's like a natural disaster, or something like that, right? Like these things happen, right? Everyone knows that the world is not perfect and that shit is probably gonna pop off at any moment, right? So let me just say this. Something that's actually helped me in my life is understanding that there is opportunity in fucking everything, right? There's opportunity in all of the bad moments and all of the moments that seem like life is moving slow. There's actually a lesson in there, which is amazing. So what I want you to take from this video and what I want you to start thinking about, before I finish this video is this. Where am I overlooking the opportunities in my life where I can just simply harness them, take advantage of them, and then use them to my benefit? And I'm going to give you guys a really, really good example because this is the truth about my life. When I was 14 or 15 years old, that's kind of when I started working, right? So I was working, let me just sip my Starbucks here. Raw, unedited. So I was working, I started to do like yard work when I was like 14 or 15. And up until age 25, I probably worked 30 plus jobs. The reason I worked so many jobs is now I would work a job and then I would realize that I could find a better paying job. So I would leave that job, go find that better paying job. But that kind of went on for, the better part of like 8 to 10 years where I couldn't keep a job longer than, I don't know, a year, 2 years. 2 years was like the max for me. And I always ended up moving on. One of the reasons is because as a young man, you don't see the opportunities in the mundane, right? Especially now with, social media and, being distracted by what your peers from high school are doing, or maybe an older sibling or whatever the fuck is it, it is. It can be hard to see the opportunities in your situation. Now, when I'm talking, working a job, I was working like manual labor warehouse work, worked at GNC a couple times. I was pumping gas. I was doing, I was a dishwasher. I worked at the gym. I did little jobs like that, right? And the moment that really changed everything for me was at my most previous job before I went into entrepreneurship full-time, starting my fitness coaching business, starting my clothing business, then starting my business coaching where I'm actually helping entrepreneurs, online coaches build their businesses. Before I started to do that, I worked as a laborer for this company, and we did lawn fertilization. We did like weed killers, pesticide treatments, winterization for, grass and things like that, shrubs, insect treatment, stuff like that. Not a spectacular position by any means. Although it did pay decently, I probably was making like between $18 to $20 an hour. And I had my own work truck, and I took the job very seriously. Because I took the job very seriously, I was able to, work enough hours and got myself a studio apartment, got rid of the beater Toyota that I had, got another Toyota, which was like a brand new Toyota, which I still love that car, Toyota Corolla. It was a great car, honestly. There was nothing wrong with it when I traded it in. I ended up probably I don't even know, 4 years later getting this car, which is my Mercedes I have now, which I love this car. But yeah, I at that job, something that clicked in me around age 25 was understanding that I was always trying to find the best case scenario. And I was actually doing the opposite of what I'm trying to tell you to do in this video, which I wasn't seeing the opportunities in the little moments and in the mundane. Now, looking back, of course, I learned what I learned. Were there jobs that I'm glad I left, and I left right at the perfect time? Absolutely, for sure, 100%. Always trust my heart, always trust my intuition. But of course, there were those jobs where I feel like if I did stick it out a little longer, I could have maybe been successful in that career, or, just kind of, sat in that uncomfortability just a tiny bit longer. I probably would have been better off, because of it. But if I went back to change anything, my life would be probably completely different now. So really grateful for how everything turned out. But that is the thing, guys. And that's like the main example that you can take from this video is, let's just say you work a regular job and it's not your dream job by any means. Because I can tell you, hands down, for sure, my life is like a dream. Like, every day I wake up, I do what I want. I get to do what I want to do. I train clients online. I design clothes. I make videos. I get tattooed. I go out to eat. I work out. I chill with amazing people. And, I hang out with my dog, Charlie, and I literally live a dream life. Like, literally fucking dream. And I want to tell you from, the outside, looking in on maybe your situation, you have to realize, and as much as it seems like, I may seem like I'm talking out of the side of my fucking neck, or it's hard to believe people like this, but you have to find the opportunities in those seemingly shitty moments and the mundane shit. And I'm going to give you the biggest one, all right? And we'll end the video here. One of the best things that I ever did for myself as a man, especially when it came to like my work, making money, career choice and all that, was I stopped looking at my jobs as they were using me, and I started to look at the job as I was using it to elevate me to the next level. And I really, really believed that. I really started to believe that where most situations where you would hear the other employees complaining, oh, they're fucking us over, they're making us work these extra hours, they're doing all this, I would somehow, some way, shape, or form always twist it and reshape the situation to benefit me, right? I'd always think like, oh, well, I'm just going to make more money. I'm going to build better skills. It's making me a better man. So if I move on to my next career opportunity, which I knew was likely going to be entrepreneurship, I knew it was only going to benefit me. Now, when you go into work the next day, whether it's tomorrow or right after you're watching this, whatever it is, I want you to start to think with a different mindset. And I want you to think, how can I become the best fucking employee inside this building? How can I quite literally destroy everyone else from a productivity level and show my higher ups, my managers, my bosses, that I am the actual best person for this job? Now, that approach completely changes the way that you're going to go about your day to day, doesn't it? Going to work and saying, oh, they're fucking us over, here we go, blah, 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 versus going into work saying, all right, I'm going to kill all you motherfuckers. You guys are destroyed. No one's even going to come close to as productive as me. And I'm still going to get all my meals in, my workouts in, chill with my chick later, and do everything I need to do outside of work. Like, just as a challenge. Doesn't that almost excite you a little bit, just hearing me say that? I know it does, some of you. Most of you probably. So think about that for a second. The next time you go into work, the next time someone passes away, the next time a natural disaster happens or something out of your fucking control happens and shit just hits the fan, how can you some way, even if it is twisted and fucking fucked up, how can you some way shape that to benefit your current situation? I gave an example of, working a job that you don't like, but you can use it for any situation in your life. So guys, there's opportunities in fucking everything. You just have to be open to them. The more open you are to them, more likely you are to even see them. No victim.